Some players fade when they hang up the cleats. These legends never did. 1. Tom Brady. Tom Brady's name is bigger than football. Drafted 199th overall in 2000, he went from forgotten backup to the greatest quarterback the game has ever seen. 7 Super Bowl wins, 3 MVPs, more playoff victories than entire franchises. His legacy isn't just numbers, it's dominance across eras. He beat the Rams' greatest show on turf. He outlasted Peyton Manning. He toppled Patrick Mahomes in his 40s. Brady retired as the all-time leader in passing yards, 89,214, and touchdowns, 649. But what people remember most is his relentlessness. He was never the fastest, never the flashiest, but no one won like Brady. That's why his name still defines greatness. On every debate show, in every barbershop, in every era of football talk. 2. Randy Moss. Straight line speed, 6'4" size, hands like magnets. Randy Moss didn't just play wide receiver, he rewrote what it meant to cover one. In 1998, his rookie season, Moss caught 17 touchdowns, exploding onto the scene as an instant superstar. Defenders called him unstoppable. Quarterbacks said throwing to him felt unfair. He finished his career with 156 total touchdowns, second most in NFL history, and 15,292 receiving yards. But it wasn't just stats, it was culture. You Got Moss became part of everyday language. Highlight shows revolved around his catches. Kids mimicked his celebrations. He didn't just beat defenses, he embarrassed them. And that's why his name is still everywhere. Because nobody ever forgot what it felt like to see Moss go deep. 3. Joe Montana. Before Brady, there was Joe Montana, the original quarterback legend, the definition of clutch. Montana won 4 Super Bowls with the San Francisco 49ers and was named MVP in 3 of them. He never threw an interception in a Super Bowl, 0. When the lights were brightest, he was flawless. His most famous moment came in Super Bowl 23, down 16-13, 3 minutes left, 92 yards to go. Montana calmly pointed into the crowd, "Hey, isn't that John Candy?" Then drove the 49ers downfield and hit John Taylor for the game-winning touchdown. Smooth, effortless, unshakable, Montana threw for over 40,000 yards in an era that didn't lean on passing. For fans, his name still means one thing: trust. If you needed one drive, you wanted Joe Cool. 4. Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor didn't just play linebacker, he redefined it. Drafted in 1981, Taylor was a storm every quarterback feared. His speed and power were unlike anything the NFL had seen. Offensive lines had to change their entire blocking schemes just to deal with him. He won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants, made 10 Pro Bowls, and was named NFL MVP in 1986, one of only 2 defensive players in history to win the award. He retired with 132.5 official sacks, though the number would have been higher if stats had been tracked earlier. But LT's impact wasn't just stats. He made left tackles one of the most important positions in football. He made defense marketable. And even today, when analysts talk about the greatest defenders of all time, his name comes up first. 5. Deion Sanders. Some players were great. Deion Sanders was unforgettable. They called him prime time, and he lived up to it every snap. Sanders was the best shutdown corner the NFL has ever seen. Quarterbacks often didn't even bother throwing his way. He won 2 Super Bowls, made 8 Pro Bowls, and returned 9 interceptions for touchdowns. Add in his punt and kick return scores, and he was a scoring threat on defense and special teams. But Deion wasn't just about defense. He was entertainment. High-stepping into the end zone, flashy celebrations, the kind of swagger that made cornerback cool. And he wasn't just a football star. He played Major League Baseball too, making him the only athlete to appear in both a Super Bowl and a World Series. Today he's still a household name as Coach Prime, turning college football into a spectacle again. That's why Deion's name will never fade. 6. Ray Lewis. If Deion was swagger, Ray Lewis was fire. 17 seasons with the Baltimore Ravens, 2 Super Bowl rings, a Super Bowl MVP, 13 Pro Bowls, over 2,000 tackles. Lewis wasn't just a linebacker, he was a force of nature. Every pregame speech shook stadiums. Every tackle ignited a defense. He played like every down was life or death, and fans loved him for it. His signature moment came in Super Bowl 35, where he led the Ravens to victory and became the first linebacker in 40 years to win Super Bowl MVP. His intensity defined Baltimore football for 2 decades, and even in retirement, his name carries weight as one of the greatest leaders, motivators, and defenders in NFL history. 7. Walter Payton. Walter Payton wasn't just a running back, he was the standard. Nicknamed Sweetness, he ran with grace, toughness, and heart that left fans in awe. Over 13 seasons with the Chicago Bears, Payton rushed for 16,726 yards, the NFL record when he retired and still second most today. He scored 110 total touchdowns and became the heartbeat of Chicago. But it wasn't just stats, it was his style. He hurdled defenders, stiff-arm tacklers, and fought for every inch. He didn't run out of bounds, he lowered his shoulder, and beyond the field, his character mattered just as much. That's why the league named its most prestigious award after him, the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. His name isn't just remembered, it's honored every single season. 8. Jerry Rice. Ask anyone who the greatest football player ever is, and most will say Jerry Rice. He didn't just play wide receiver, he made it an art form. Rice holds records that might never be broken: 22,895 receiving yards, 208 total touchdowns, 3 Super Bowl rings, a Super Bowl MVP, 13 Pro Bowls, 10 first-team All-Pros. But the numbers don't capture his dominance. Rice's work ethic was legendary. His hill sprints in the offseason became part of NFL folklore. His precision routes and unmatched hands made him uncoverable. Every wide receiver since has been compared to him. None have come close. That's why his name isn't just remembered, it's worshipped. 9. Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders didn't need words. His run spoke for him. Helmet low, silent demeanor. No trash talk, no celebrations, just defenders left grasping at air. In just 10 seasons, Sanders rushed for 15,269 yards, 4th all-time, and scored 109 touchdowns. He had 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons. In 1997, he rushed for 2,053 yards, one of the greatest seasons ever. And then, at his peak, he walked away. No farewell tour, no press conference, just a quiet fax announcing his retirement. Fans loved him more for it. His highlight reels still look impossible. Runs where he juked out entire defenses. Barry Sanders didn't just play, he glided, and his name still carries magic. 10. Jim Brown. Before Payton, before Sanders, before anyone, there was Jim Brown. From 1957 to 1965, he was the most dominant player in football. In 9 seasons, Brown won 3 MVPs, led the league in rushing 8 times, and retired as the all-time rushing leader with 12,312 yards. He averaged 104 rushing yards per game, a number that still hasn't been matched. He was powerful, fast, untouchable. Defenders dreaded facing him because he combined size and speed like no one before him. Even though he retired at just 29, his name still lives at the top of every greatest ever conversation. Jim Brown was the first true NFL superstar, and his shadow still stretches across the game. 11. Peyton Manning. Precision, preparation, perfection. Peyton Manning was football's ultimate field general. Over 18 seasons, Manning threw for 71,940 yards and 539 touchdowns. He won 5 MVP awards, the most in NFL history, and 2 Super Bowls. His pre-snap audibles, hand signals, and famous Omaha calls turned quarterbacking into a chess match. Manning's mind was as dangerous as his arm. He read defenses like an open book, and he punished mistakes instantly. Fans loved the way he orchestrated an offense like a conductor leading a symphony, and retirement hasn't dimmed his name. Between TV commercials, his ESPN shows, and his constant presence around the game, Peyton Manning is still everywhere. The sheriff never left town. He just traded his helmet for a microphone. 12. Reggie White. Few players ever combined faith, power, and ferocity like Reggie White. Nicknamed the Minister of Defense, he was one of the most feared pass rushers in history. Over 15 seasons, White racked up 198 sacks, second most all time. He was a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 13-time Pro Bowler, and Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. His signature move was the hump, where he'd toss 300-pound linemen aside like rag dolls. Off the field, he was a leader and role model. On the field, he was unstoppable. unstoppable. When players and coaches talk about the greatest defenders ever, Reggie White's name is always in the first breath. He wasn't just dominant, he was divine chaos in pads. Peyton's grace, Rice's perfection, Sanders' magic, Brown's dominance, Manning's mastery, White's power. These names didn't fade when the games ended. They still echo in highlight reels, in arguments, in the DNA of football itself, because legends don't retire, they live forever.